Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the one and only Browns Latest. Now, this is a place where you can pop on in and you get caught up on some of the latest news that's tied to our favorite team, the Brown and Orange, the Cleveland Browns. And then you also get a take tied to each of those news items along the way. I mean, you get tons of takes during this little show that we do. But I like to thank everybody right now who is subscribed to the channel. Appreciate that. And all of you who have liked our previous episodes. Hopefully this one makes it on the list. And then to everyone who gets into the viewer comments. We talk about everything. Sometimes it's not even about football. We're talking about LeBron yesterday. In the viewer comments. And so a lot of healthy discussions going on down there in the comments. Now, coming up on today's show, we now know when the fans can go to training camp. And I'm going to let you know what I think the best part of training camp is. And then on top of that, I've got a Browns player to show you who does a horrible Adam Sandler impression. On top of that, for weeks, remember, I've been telling you that the Browns defensive line is one of the best in the NFL. Today, we have the proof. Also, Kevin Stefanski has long been labeled a quarterback developer. But is he really? You may change your view after today's show. And then down in the viewer comments, someone thinks I'm nuts. Well, my response to that, get in line. All right, let's go. First things first, training camp. The dates have been announced, and these are the ones we care about because these are the ones the fans are allowed to go to, right? These are the ones we get to see. And here's the list. Get out your pen and paper. Don't worry, I'll have it up there for a little bit of time so you can check it out. There you see the 25th, the 26th, the 28th, the 29th, 30th, August 1st, 2nd, and 4th. So 8 dates are open this week. This year. There were only 6 last year. So that July 25th, the start time is 2 p.m. The 26th is 9:30 a.m. The 28th, 2 p.m. The 29th, 2 p.m. Wednesday, July 30th is 9:30 a.m. Friday, August 1st, a 2 p.m. practice. Saturday, August 2nd, a 9:30 a.m. practice. And then Monday, August 4th, a 2 p.m. practice. So, and to me, the best part of training camp, folks, is just how insanely close you can get to the players. It really reminds me a little bit of a PGA Tour. Have you ever gone to a PGA Tour event? You know, when some of these guys hit shots, depending on where the ball ends up, I mean, you can be just a couple of feet away. And you can get insanely close to the action at training camp. And that's what I've been taking, my son and I, we've gone a lot. We like going to training camp and checking it out. They have a bunch of other stuff. You can do the 40 and do all these other things. And it's just they've really turned it into a family event out there. It's not just about the practice and the team, but all the other things that go on. Now, I don't know if you heard about this or saw this yet, but this is tight end Brendan Bates. Yes, he's one of ours. Trying to do the Happy Gilmore lead-up golf swing, and this video is on the NFL X account, and I'll just say it didn't go so well. He started off okay. I mean, it looked like he knew what he was doing, but he's 6'5" and 255 pounds, and the swing sent him twirling through the air and onto his back, and I think it must be his girlfriend or his wife was recording. You can hear her giggling in the background now. Bates, originally undrafted out of the University of Kentucky, in case you're going, who is Brendan Bates? Last year, he was with the Bears, and since then he's appeared with the Jets and us. He's only played a total of 70 snaps last year. So this right here, folks, might be his claim to fame, the bad Happy Gilmore swing. But give Brendan Bates a little love today, and I'm just glad he didn't hurt himself before training camp. So, all right, now, I don't know if you know about this, but the PFF defensive line rankings are our favorite people in the world, Pro Football Focus. Now, remember, early on, all they were doing was dinging us. Then they came back and said, hey, Kevin Stefanski's one of the top 10 returning coaches. And today, they're loving our defensive line. We've been telling you, folks, this is going to be a good defense. And look, before we get to the rankings, let's refresh our memory. Here's our guys, man. Myles Garrett, Huntington, Kamara, McGuire, Aquara, Ellerson G. Smith. I don't know if he'll make the team. Cameron Thomas. And then there's Shoyinka. Alex Wright is our guy. Don't forget. And then the defensive tackles, Juwan Briggs, and you got Collins. We just talked about him the other day. Mason Graham, our draft pick from this year. Mike Hall, coming back from injury. He was our big draft pick from last year. Shelby Harris, Ralph Holly. I'll tell you what, it's going to be tough to cut any of these. I mean, I don't know what, especially a defensive tackle. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, every one of those guys could end up making this team. But, yeah, it's nice to have competition along the defensive front for once. It always seems like we just didn't do enough, but I feel like we did this year, and then we've got some backups on the offensive line too. Now, let's get to the rankings. Where did PFF put us? There they, of course, the Steelers are number one, but we're not going to talk about that. But they got Pittsburgh first, and then, of course, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles second. I would have probably had the Eagles first. I wouldn't. Pittsburgh stinks. I don't know why everybody and Watt's not even he's holding out. Like, what is going on over there? Like, what did it? Sometimes these rankings, and then you got the Giants, Houston, Buffalo, Detroit, then us, the good guys, coming in at 7. And then you got Denver, the Rams, and the Ravens. How about us? A better defensive line than the Ravens. Gotta love that. And here's what they said. They said Cleveland is home to arguably the best defensive line in the NFL. Now, who did you hear that from first? Oh, yeah, me. Edge defender Myles Garrett earned a 92.0 PFF overall grade last year. And that's 4 seasons in a row, man. That's crazy. But they say while the Browns give Garrett plenty of defensive line help, this year is going to be different. A top 5 draft pick, Mason Graham, can get up to speed quickly. Cleveland's defensive line could find itself among the top 5 once again. And the biggest question is how they're going to use Graham, basically, to help Myles. We've been saying it all along. He'll eat up some double teams. Teams are going to have to pick their poison. Myles isn't the only guy that they're going to have to try to double this year. Or if they want to double Myles, they got problems all up and down that line. And so, of course, we struggled in third down percentage and takeaways last year. So the Browns want to improve on all of that, but we'll take it. Top 10 defensive line, nothing wrong with that. Now, how about Kevin Stefanski and quarterback development? I started thinking about this the other day. It's like, because I always call him the quarterback whisperer. I don't know if I've called him that for years. He's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, right? We get a guy, and we talked about it. It's like when the Guardians get a new pitcher, and because they have a pitcher whisperer in Carl Willis. The Guardians pitching coach is just insane with what he can do with these guys. And they can look at him and figure out, okay, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right. Boom. And then all of a sudden, he becomes a viable starter for us or somebody that's reliable out of the pen. Stefanski's supposed to be that for quarterbacks, but I don't know. So here we go. So let's step by step, let's talk about this, okay? Now, here are some of the quarterbacks he is credited with developing, okay? Now, analysts and insiders note that while he's often labeled a quarterback developer, his reputation is more closely tied to offensive scheme and play calling than to developing young quarterbacks into long-term starters. And here's the thing. The guys he developed, other than Baker, and we'll get to Baker, Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco. So Keenum is the clearest example of a quarterback who reached a new career peak directly under Stefanski's tutelage. Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins both had strong seasons with Stefanski, but Baker is now, mature Baker is a completely different quarterback. Now, whether Stefanski laid the foundation or not, maybe. But when Baker got hurt, that just screwed everything up. And nobody was the adult in the room, and nobody told him to sit down and go get surgery and come back and be our quarterback. Nobody did that. So who knows what could have happened? He needed to grow up. And then you saw he goes to Carolina, goes to the Rams, he had a great game. Remember, he had a comeback or a huge game with the Rams or whatever. So it's not like he didn't do anything with the Rams, but even the Rams were like, we're not keeping you. So who knows what was going on? Now he's all grown up and in Tampa Bay, and hold on. I'm going to show you something in a minute here that's going to make you cringe. So just stick with me. And then, of course, Joe Flacco comes back for, off the couch, and, he looked like the Joe of old for 5 games. And so here's the thing, though, folks. Stefanski, other than Mayfield, and that's Mayfield is to me it was the outside stuff. It was everything else, not his quarterback play. That was the problem. When he got hurt and they didn't sit him down, that was the problem with Mayfield. Who knows what he could have become? But he has never had the chance to get a young quarterback, right? Draft one and develop him, right? And so that is until now, right? So now you've got Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. So now he has his chance to develop a couple quarterbacks. Let me show you this. Look at this on Baker Mayfield. Oh my goodness. These are Baker's stats over the FanDuel put this out over the last couple of years. And so whether he laid the foundation, I don't know, but Baker has grown up and figured it out here in the last couple of years. And so he's giving Mahomes a run for his money. Look at those stats. He's as good as Mahomes. Now, when I first saw this, I said, well, anybody who plays fantasy and has had Mahomes the last couple of years actually complain about Mahomes because they say he's not putting up the same kind of numbers he always used to put up. But I don't know. Call it what you want, but Mayfield is hanging with Mahomes, and this is the year, I guess, we're going to start to find out if Kevin Stefanski really, truly is the quarterback whisperer, or, is he just a play caller? I don't know. We're going to find out starting this year because now he has 2 rookie quarterbacks that he can develop, right? All right, so now what's already developed, the viewer comments. You guys are always awesome, and we're going to start with Steamy, because that is a great handle. He says, I'm sorry, but the only thing I got from from this was the word collusion. I love football, but the NFL needs to be investigated for match fixing and conspiracy. Now, he's talking about the collusion story we did the other day, and me wondering, all right, maybe there's something to the whole Shedeur Sanders collusion sliding in the draft thing. But what I took away from the match fixing comment, here's the thing. I've been saying for a long time that I feel like the calls that are made at the end of NFL games are made purposely to keep these games close, or I'm not going to go so far as to say to give another team the edge, but I really think they always want these games to come down to the last second, and you see calls down the stretch that reflect that. Okay. I mean, it's entertainment, folks. It's a show. It's a show first, right? So, I mean, the NFL does it. I mean, you can't blame them. Just Wicked H 940. Of course there's collusion amongst the billionaires in the NFL. Are you kidding me? They're about making money for their legacy, not the players that are putting their bodies and families through it. Respect the players and their families. Yeah, I mean, maybe. We're going to find out if there's an investigation. We'll see. But moving on. Seals Guy. That's it. Good handle. Short, right to the point. Seals Guy. Names don't matter, and it shouldn't. However, the names that are in our quarterback room matter. Flacco, old. Pickett, trade him. Gabriel, career backup. Shedeur, first round pick in the 5th round. He calls him the collusion draft pick, which remains to be seen. The best quarterback in the room, he says. And so, he says that he's cool with Shedeur in Super Bowl in 2030. Remember, DraftKings said Shedeur is going to win us the Super Bowl in 2030. He says that's perfect timing, and I agree. And so it's all going to start playing out. We mentioned training camp, starting here at the end of July, and that's when it's going to start playing out, folks. We'll see who will rise to the top. Here, listen to this one. Jesse Nash, 25-14. Remember when I was talking about the trade for Kmet the other day? I love Kyle Pitts. Cole Kmet will be a good option too. Here's the response. You are nuts. And that's why I said, get in line, guys. I mean, says Njoku is better than both of them combined. Here's my problem, though. Njoku drops all the easy passes. Njoku's at the end of his contract. They are not going to sign Njoku again to another contract because he's 28. And so if you can get younger and this is all about pairing somebody up with Harold Fannin Jr. That's all this is. If Njoku wants to give us the hometown deal or something, a hometown discount, maybe. But I want to see something dynamic on the other side that catches everything. Not just a guy who, like, Njoku has always made the circus catch and then drops the easy ones, usually in critical situations. And so that's why, like, it's to me, the Njoku experiment is coming to an end after this year unless he does something absolutely crazy. And he might. We got better quarterback play, so he might. Okay, C. Hawkins 354. Now, I only used him because he said this. Wait, I comment almost every day. Love the positivity. Well, I'm positively putting you in today's show, C. Hawkins, and I appreciate you for commenting every single day. And this is a great one. You know me, I always end on the good ones. Chris Davis, 6752. He says, paint yourself orange if you get to 10,000 subscribers. Remember I said I might go shirtless? This might be the idea. This might be the way to go. Paint yourself orange at 10,000. He says, Browns 2025 dark horse. And he is a Patriots and Eagles fan. And he says the Browns are a dark horse. So you know he knows what he's talking about, right? Because he told me what to do when we get to 10,000 subscribers. But Chris Davis, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it, man. And that's a great idea. I may just have to take you up on it. Okay, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. Go Browns! We'll see you next time.